for everything, there are foundations. Before you build a building, you need to have a good foundation first to determine how high the building can go and how stable it will be. And there are some factors that I believe are not really talked about as much as they should be. And to me, these serve as the foundations for our productivity. And just like a car cannot go anywhere without fuel, these things can play that same, these things do play that same role in our lives when it comes to productivity. And the first one is health, of course. We all know about the need to be healthy, because there's a saying that when you are sick or you're not able to do anything due to health reasons, the health becomes your number one goal. And it's true. In this life, this body is like a vehicle. This is like a video game. This body is what we are controlling in this life to be able to do all the things we want to do. So if we mess up this body, we can't go anywhere. We literally cannot do anything, no matter how smart we are, or how wise we are, or how hardworking we are. You see, so, and this should be obvious by now. Me too, I'm a fitness guy. This channel is also for fitness, even though I prioritize the productivity more, because I believe that once you get the productivity right, the fitness and all these other things will be easy to do when your life has that stability it needs and the income and everything. But yeah, health is basically the first, and you can just take care of this by like focusing on the basics for now. You don't need to do a lot of the extra stuff, even though like some of them really do help. But in fact, most of them do help. A lot of these supplements and diets and all these things. But you can start from the basics. Just, what are you eating? How much water are you drinking? How much rest are you having? How much sleep are you having? You see, these things are the basics and some other basics as well, but I'm not going to go through all of them in the video. But yeah, basically, you know what to do anyway. And once you do that, and stay away from unnecessary stress. Some stress is important, but some amount of stress too is rather unnecessary, and you should stay away from those. Stress has to be productive. It should be leading you towards something, towards achieving a goal or mastering a skill, or just building a thicker skin and building more resilience. But aside from that, if it's a stress you can avoid it. Especially if it's a stress from something you got no business doing. The other factor is energy. And energy, like I said, is like a car we are like cars that need fuel. And without energy, we can't really do anything. And even if we do stuff, it doesn't really radiate. Like, it's like, it doesn't have that, it doesn't have that spark to it. You see? And it seeps into everything, and like that's even if you're able to do the thing you're supposed to do anyway. But without the energy, it's highly unlikely that you'll not even be able to start in the first place. You see, this has really held a lot of us back without us actually even knowing about it. And energy basically is not only the physical energy, but also mental energy. Like I mentioned, stress plays a role in that too, but also just motivation. Like, you have to know the why behind what you're doing, and you have to have genuine reason, and the reason has to be from the inside, not about the outside, not about like pleasing people or trying to like be who you are not, and it's stuff like that. It has to be internal, and it has to be a meaningful enough reason to you. You see, that's just one example. That's just one factor of energy. But also, the obvious one too is rest. You should have enough rest. That's for the physical side of things. And yeah, and also stay away from things that drain you. I call them energy vampires, but that's a topic for another video. And energy vampires can come in various ways. It can be a bad habit or an addiction. It can be a bad company, a bad friend or someone that drains you. Or it can be just doing work that you feel like is not aligned with who you are. and you are doing it out of desperation. But if I get it. Sometimes we are put in positions where you might not want to do something specifically, but maybe you might have to get a specific job and get through it so that you can work towards the job you want. That's fine, But in such a scenario, you still gotta like psych your mind to make sure that you do it with excellence, and that way it's gonna carry you. You're gonna go forward to the next job and your dream job, with that same kind of disposition. Yeah, but that's just one example. And yeah, there are various. It basically just analyze the things you do and the people you surround yourself with. And if you realize that you're not energized around them, then you know what to do. You have to limit time with them or cut them off. But if they energize you, keep them around. Or if it's like activities and stuff, keep doing them. And another factor is time. You see, time is, I think, should be at the top of the list, because if you don't have time, no matter how long your to-do list is or how the things on it benefit you, or how much weight the things on your to-do list have, you're not going to be able to do them, because obviously if you don't have time, work can't be done. You see, and one way to deal with time, to manage time properly, is having routines, like having a to-do list, so that you're not always going to be thinking about, oh, what should I do? What do I have to do? Like, everything will be more smooth, because it's like you have a system. You see, it's more streamlined. That's the word. So once you have a to-do list, you can know the sequence of things, and it creates order. We thrive in order more than chaos. You see. So to-do list is just one of them. Another thing too is just prioritization. You have to know which ones to do first, which ones to save for last. And also just removing distractions. You have to remove things that drain your time, like overly consuming entertainment. Entertainment is good. You need to have like that balance, but sometimes you can sway too much in one end. You see, you can spend more time on entertainment without even knowing it, and before you realize, time is gone and you've not done what you have to do. You see, these are things we already know, but I just feel like it's good to remind you, every now and then. And yeah, so once you get the time, you get the energy, you get the other one too is attention. The attention is like, if you're like a ship, attention is the setting of the sail. It shows us where we are going, and it's gonna be the one that determines where everything else goes to anyway, where your time goes to, where your energy goes to. You see, and you know what to use your health for. You see, and attention basically it also has to do with you prioritizing and knowing what matters and what doesn't matter. In engineering, there's something called signal and there's something called noise. Signal is what you are really looking for, and noise is every other thing. And that's just a very simple summary of it. But once you prioritize for signal, and you also have a system in place, once you point your attention towards that thing, that's it. You see, you'll be able to properly use your energy and your time. Yeah, so attention is for direction. And once you have the direction set in place, your energy and your time and your health will be used towards more worthy tasks. Things that move you forward, things that move the needle. You see, and attention is the difference between someone who looks back and realizes that they spend their time well, versus someone who looks back and realizes that they've been deviating all this time. Like, it's like a ship. A ship, once you move it just a little bit, right, to either the right or the left or any direction, in a long enough amount of time, it's going to end up at a whole other continent. It's going to keep going and going and going, and before you realize, it will end up somewhere that is totally different from where it was supposed to go, just because of a slight change of direction. So that's the power of attention. If you pay attention to the wrong things, as time goes by, you realize that your energy and your time and everything has been allocated towards the wrong direction, and just distractions. Yeah, so basically one of the key ways to fix the attention part of things is to prioritize and to also have systems, like the to-do list and stuff. But yeah, so time, health, energy, attention. If you don't have these things, no matter how smart you are, how wise you are, how determined you are, and how big your goals are, you're not going to go anywhere with it. You see? So we have to master these things and let it be the foundation which we build our houses on. Okay. So I just wanted to remind you all, like I said, these are basic things which I'm sure most, if not all of you already know. But sometimes you can know something, but it doesn't really stick, or it's easy to put it in the back of our minds, and before we realize, it starts having effects on us that we don't even notice until it's a little late. Okay, so that's all I have for today, and I hope this message helped someone. And if you have any feedback or anything you want to contribute, kindly leave it in the comments and drop a like and subscribe. Okay, until next time, have a wonderful day.